welcome to another pickup video. And today I have a lot of cool stuff. There are some pretty rare games, as well as some sealed stuff, and a lot of promo items, as well as a few new boxed systems for my collection. So, there's a couple stories to tell along with it, so I'll go ahead and start with those. And first, today is Sunday, by the way, and everything that I have, well, most of what I have to show in this video came from stuff that I got on Friday and Saturday, so just the past 2 days. And there's a few games that I got from like GameStop and stuff before that, but 95% of what I have here is going to be from the day before yesterday and yesterday. My friend Sam was looking on Nintendo Age, and he found a posting for a guy that was looking to sell a bunch of stuff in Tampa, which is 3.5 hours away from here. We contacted him and told him that we'd be interested in what he was selling, and then he told us he had more stuff, so I ended up going over with my friend Tyler. Sam had work, he couldn't make it, but we each paid half and got like the rest of his collection, basically, because he was getting out of collecting. Well, I'm not going to say how much exactly, but it was a decent amount of money, and there was a lot of stuff that we got to sell and trade. We already took a bunch of stuff to the local video game store and traded that in, and we split that money and used that to buy some games and stuff, and I have those to show you as well. But the guy was really nice. His name was Brian, and like I said, we bought a bunch of stuff from him, and after I got back, once Sam had got out of work, he came over, we went through everything together, and we each got a lot of stuff for our collections, which is very cool. And then he slept over that night so that we could get up really early on Saturday, the next morning. And actually, we didn't even sleep at all the whole night. We were busy going through all the stuff from the Craigslist deal. We were like putting stuff on eBay and just talking or whatever, because I actually didn't get home from picking up the stuff until like 11:30. So by the time he got there, it was after midnight, and we were getting up at 6:30 anyway. And by the time we were done going through everything and doing our eBay stuff, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. So there was really no point in sleeping for an hour and a half. So we just went to Chick-fil-A, got some breakfast, and waited. And then we started going to some garage sales. And we hit up a flea market. We did a Craigslist deal. Well, Sam did a Craigslist deal. And we did garage sales, flea market, and pawn shops. And then we went to the game store last, like I mentioned. So that's where everything is coming from. And now that I've like explained everything, I'm basically just going to show you guys what I got. So first up, from one of the garage sales, we picked up an N64 bundle, and included were these green plastic N64 cases. And I always keep these because I put my more expensive cartridges in them, because I store the cartridges out of the boxes, so I like to put the more expensive rare games in these. So that was nice to get a few more of those. Then next up are some memory cards here, and you know, like I always say, I always keep the first party ones I get. So in the past couple days, I got 2 more PS2 ones and 2 more Gamecube ones. Next up is a DVD, but I think it's actually a game, and this is Dragon's Lair, and it says DVD video PS2 and Xbox compatible. That's a sticker, but then printed right on here it says this digital leisure game requires the DVD movie playback kit to operate on your Xbox. So I think it might be like a game that you just use the remote for or something, but either way, I thought that was pretty cool, and this was included in the collection that we bought from Brian. Next up, also from Brian, I have a box here. It's an Assassin's Creed 3 box from Amazon, but it's filled with a bunch of figurines and stuff in here and toys. So first up is one of these little question block Mario tins that hold candies, and this one's still sealed. The one that I have, I actually opened and ate all the candies out of it, but this one still has the plastic on it. And then we have 2 of these yo-yos that are filled with candy here, and they're both Mario Galaxy 2. And then there's a few Sonic toys in here. First up, we have these 2, and these are really similar to each other, but they have a couple differences. And these are like my first Sonic figures. I have like a little Amy one that I found at Goodwill a while ago, but these are the first Sonic ones, I think. But here are the 2 here. And like I said, there's a couple differences. One of them is a little more shiny, while the other one's more flat, and then one of them has his hand closed, and the other one has his hand open. Then we have this one. And then we have Tails. and then one of these little spider things from the Sonic games. And then this is a Sonic the Hedgehog coin bank, and just to compare size, here's it next to the Dragon's Lair DVD, so it's pretty big. And there's 2 of these included in the bundle, so Sam and I each got one of those. That's pretty cool. Then I got this little Mario figure here, and also this Yoshi figure, which is from 1997, which is pretty cool. I've never seen this particular one before. And then these are like the newer figures. I think you can still get these at like Walmart and stuff. And I have them sealed, but it was nice to get them open as well. But there's a Yoshi one, green Yoshi, and also Wario. Then the last one in the box here is a sealed Dante's Inferno figure. And I don't know if I'm keeping this. I don't collect for Xbox or PS3 or anything, so I might try and trade this off. I know a couple people that are into collecting toys and figures and stuff, especially if they're related to video games, so I might be getting rid of that one, and hopefully I'll be able to trade it for something that I want. So moving on, there was one board game included, but it's actually like a video game board game here, so I was very glad to see this, and this was included in the collection once again. But this is Tetris, and it's actually got the Nintendo logo down there, so it's not just, you know, some generic game. It's actually, you know, based on the video game, which is awesome. On the Nintendo game, I should say. But very cool. Glad to have that. Next up is a flash drive promotional item for the game Singularity. And I don't collect, you know, current gen stuff like that for non-Nintendo systems, but it's a flash drive, and you can never have enough flash drives, so might as well hold on to it. Then I got this little Katamari dangler. I think this is what they're officially called. But there was 2 of those as well, so Sam got one. Next up is a F-Zero GX pin here, which I believe was a pre-order bonus for the game, for the Gamecube game. There's the back of it there, and there's a little baggie in here that has, it looks like 4 stickers for the memory cards, which is cool. Next up, and pretty much all this stuff that I've shown so far was included in that collection we bought, as well as this. And this is a wireless adapter for a Game Boy Micro, but it's Japanese. And there's a little bit of damage on the front there, but it's complete in the box, so pretty cool. Sam got one of those as well. There was 2 of them included. Next up is a boxed DS accessory, but this one actually came from the flea market, and I got this for $3, and that is the Nintendo DS headset. I don't think this is like worth much. It might even be worth less than what I paid, but the person I was getting it from, I got like a couple Game Boy Advance SPs and some games and everything, so throwing this in for $3 was okay with me. Next up is a factory sealed soundtrack for the movies Resident Evil and Resident Evil Apocalypse, but on the back here it has a promotion for Resident Evil 4. So technically it's not the soundtrack for the game. You know, it's got, they're mostly metal bands on here. Killswitch Engage, Cradle of Filth, Fear Factory. So I mean, not the best bands, but it's definitely for the movies and not the games. But because it has the Resident Evil 4 promotion on there, I will be keeping that. Next up is a game preview disc for Star Fox Adventures for the Gamecube, and he told me that this was like the original case that it came in and everything, even though it does look a bit weird, but it has the Best Buy logo on it, so I'm not sure if this was like from Best Buy, but that's what it looks like on the front. And then there's nothing on the back, and then there's the inside there. So I thought that was really cool. I've never seen this before, like on eBay or anything, so that was cool to see in there. Next up is a notebook. It's a GameCube notebook, and it's still sealed. I mean, you could reseal it easily, but there it is. It's got the GameCube logo on there, and it's actually metal. The cover's made of metal and everything, and it just comes in one of these like generic seals here. It's not like an actual full seal, but very cool, and I'm obviously not going to use it, but it's just a cool promotional piece. This is it's a Target exclusive item, and it's not a pre-order bonus, but it was free if you purchased the game from Target, and it is a factory sealed bobblehead for NBA Courtside 2002, and it's Kobe Bryant. So there's a GameCube logo up there. It says right here it's free if you buy the game, and then there's the GameCube logo on the bobblehead and everything, and you know, very cool. And what was cool about seeing this in his collection is that, like, this, along with the F-Zero pin, these are things that I've looked at on eBay and I've had in my watch list at one point or another, and I just decided not to buy them for whatever reason, and I'm glad that I didn't, because getting them in his collection made them a lot cheaper. Like the bobblehead alone, for example, on eBay, there was a sealed one for like 15 bucks, and I tried to offer the guy 8, and he wouldn't come down at all, basically. But getting it in this collection, I basically am getting it for free after like getting rid of the stuff that was doubles and like, you know, all the stuff that we're not trying to keep for ourselves. So it's very cool to see some of that stuff in there. Next up, I don't know exactly how rare this is. I remember seeing one on eBay, but I don't remember what it was priced at, and that was like a couple months ago. But it is a promotional squeeze dolphin for the GameCube. It was before it was released, but back when it was kind of still known as the Dolphin. But this is what it looks like here, and like I said, it's like a squeeze toy, and that's what it says on there. So I'm pretty sure that at this point it was actually called the GameCube, but you know, it was the Dolphin before that, so this has got to have something to do with it. Next up, this is pretty cool, and I've never seen one of these before. I had never even like heard of it until now, but this was a pre-order bonus for the Wavebird controller, and I guess if you pre-ordered it, you got this little bag with it, and this is what it looks like here. It's got like a pull string at the top to close it, and then that's what it says on it. Pretty cool. And then inside here we just have the instructions for the actual Wavebird controller itself. So that was pretty cool. I'd never heard of this. I didn't know there was any sort of pre-order bonus. I never even knew you could pre-order a controller. I thought that was kind of weird, but you know, this is a pretty cool item, and I haven't looked it up or done any research, so I don't know if these are common or not, or what they go for, but still very glad to have that. Next up are these Mario Kart Double Dash flags, and I guess I'll take the rubber bands off here so I can show you guys. But they're all connected, and this is what it looks like when you open it up. There's 4 of them here, and they've got like a little extra room on each side, but they're very cool, and I am going to try to find a place to display these. I'm kind of in the process of rearranging my room because I actually sold my NES glass case, which I've shown in all my previous pickup videos, but I decided to sell that because it takes up a lot of room. It was 6 feet long, and you know, it was like 4.5 feet tall, 3 feet wide, and I just needed more room for some other stuff that I've been picking up, and you know, having to add more shelves in here to hold all the new stuff. And my living room is completely full anyway, so any space I can get is awesome. And for some reason I didn't have much of an attachment to that case. I know it's like Nintendo and everything, and it was very awesome, don't get me wrong, but it's just not practical for me to keep it right now. And you know, I'll always be finding more stuff, so there's a chance that when I'm older and I have a house that I'll be living in for a while, I can find something else like that again and hopefully have more space for it. But selling that cleared up a lot of space, and it was a good decision. But yeah, since I'm in the process of rearranging, I should be able to find a place for those Mario Kart flags. Next up is something that I think is very cool, and it's not just like the bobblehead. It's not a pre-order bonus, but it was something that you could get for free if you purchased the game. And the funny thing about it is that it's for the same exact game. It's for NBA Courtside, but this is only at Kmart. The last one was at Target. So this is very cool, and it's a lot cooler than the bobblehead in my opinion. And when we bought it, he had 2 of them, so Sam and I each got one. But he told me that he'd never seen them for sale at all anywhere, except for the one auction that he won that included both of them. So I don't know how rare these are. He probably hasn't looked it up in a while, but I'm going to try and look it up later and see if I can find any, but they are party lights, and they're still sealed here. And what's cool about these is, not only is it Nintendo related, it's, a free if you buy the game, it's Gamecube, it's a Kmart exclusive item, but it's just awesome. They've got the little basketballs there with the logo, and then below that is little Gamecubes, they're like the bulb covers for the lights up here, which are basically just like Christmas lights, but that's very awesome, and I'm definitely not going to open this because of how rare it could possibly be. I don't know. I've never seen them before, and he told me he had never seen any besides those two, so I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, so next up is a very unique item, and I doubt that many people would have this. I have certainly never seen one in person or online anywhere, or have ever even heard of it, or anyone talking about it. But this is a development item for the Gamecube, and this is clearly back when it was known as a dolphin, because it has a picture of the dolphin on it, and it doesn't say, I guess it does say Gamecube on it, but I don't know. It had to have been early in the development. It says 2000 on it, so same year as that little squeezy dolphin. It's a development tool for the memory card, and I guess I'll show it to you while I'm talking about it, but this is what it looks like here. And basically, you can plug the memory card into the Gamecube, and you can, save your game and everything, but then through this, you can attach a cable and hook it up to the computer, so that you can, like, hack your save, and, whatever they're trying to work on for the game, they can like, skip to a later level for testing, or they could, like, add items in, or pretty much whatever they want to do. They can adjust the game save and then put it back into the system, and then, continue on with their work. But that's pretty much all it is the memory card here, and this one port. All the rest of it's blank. It's got some information on the back, and this stuff on the front, but I thought that was a very cool item, and I have no idea what something like this would be worth. I can't imagine it to be too much, but it's just a really cool item, and I'm very glad to have that in my collection. These are official, but he told me, and he knows they're official because he got them from an ex-Nintendo employee, but he told me that these top two here probably aren't worth much because you could reproduce them easily and they would look exactly the same. And, looking at it, it's obviously clear, but they're still very cool. And these, I guess I'll show the first one here, and the other ones are kind of like it, but the third one's different. But they are binders on particular games. This one, of course, is Super Smash Brothers. And what these are is that they're binders that have promotional information inside about different displays and stuff like that. And what they would do is they would send these to retailers, and then you could go through and you could look. So this would be like a hanging sign, tells you the dimensions, and this would be a poster down here, and you could go through and pick out like display things that you wanted in your store, and you could order them from Nintendo. Anything you'd see at a store to promote the game. And yeah, these are very cool, but like you said, they'd be easy to reproduce, so they're probably not worth that much. But the other one I have here is for Eternal Darkness, which is awesome. And it says Eternal Darkness Campaign on the end there. Very cool. Just tons of different things, and like, not only is it cool because it's Nintendo related and it's like a weird employee item, but it shows all the promotional items for these games. So if you were ever like super into Eternal Darkness, which I know some people are, and you had this, you would have a guide to all of the promotional items if you ever want to try and like track them all down. But I'm guessing that some of these would be very difficult to find, and they actually say like how many they're limited to. The instruction card, there was 600. The graphic pod was 1900. The 12x5 header was 1900, and the graphic now playing was 1900. And it says that last one and also the graphic pod were magnets, so Those must have gone with the kiosk. But very cool. And then the last one here, it would probably be a little bit harder to replicate, but you probably still could. But this is a National 2001 Meeting merchandising module. And it's for the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance. That's what it looks like on the front. And then there's the side there. And then here is the front page. They talk about quality game development, character, icons, and franchises. Let's see. Under character, icons, and franchises, it says Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, Link, Zelda, Pokemon, and Pikmin are the stars of Nintendo. These world-renowned creations keep players coming back for more adventure and fun. So they're kind of just talking about different stuff. They have first and second party shipment updates right here. It has like the titles, which system they're for, and when they're shipping. And then at the end here, it has all their slides from their PowerPoint presentation, which is kind of cool to look at. But that's basically it for those. But I thought those are very cool. I've never seen anything like that. I doubt they're worth anything because of how easy they are to replicate, but still very cool. There is some more promotional stuff that I'm going to show at the end because some of it's larger stuff. So now I'm going to get to the games. Finally, I'm sorry that this is going to be a really long video. I do apologize for that, but there's some very cool stuff here. I have PS2, GameCube, Wii, DS, and 3DS games. Unfortunately, nothing older than that for this video. Most of his collection was GameCube stuff, but still some very cool stuff here. I'm going to start with the PS2, and from him, all three of these came from him. First one is Frequency, just a game I didn't have, and then a factory-sealed black label copy of Katamari Damacy, which is very cool. And he said that he was a Katamari collector for a while, and he had like the American version, the PAL version, the Japanese version, and like I said, little Katamari keychain thing. He had a Katamari t-shirt. He had like the Katamari games for the PSP and the Xbox 360. He had them in all the, some of them were sealed, some of them were opened, and some of them were Japanese, some of them were PAL. So we had a lot of Katamari stuff, but that was in there for me. That's pretty cool. And this one here is a cheap game, but it's very cool, and this is Stuntman Ignition. But what makes it special is that it's signed by the entire development team. All the signatures here on the front. There's some on the side, and then there's a bunch on the back as well, which is very cool. And, I have no idea what something like this would be worth, but it's not something I would ever consider selling because it's very awesome. And aside from my Cheetah Man 2, Lost Levels here that is signed, this is the only signed or autographed thing that I have in my collection, so that was very cool to see in there. Next up, I guess I'll show you guys the 3DS game, because there's only two of them here. The first one I got from the game store using trade credit from the stuff we traded in, and the stuff we traded in was mostly like PS1 Japanese games, Japanese Saturn games, a few Xbox 360 like headsets, and a Halo 3 shoulder bag, and just some random stuff like that. But we got a decent amount for them, and we were able to get some cool stuff. So I also had a stack of PS2 games I traded in that were all just filler titles that were doubles and greatest hits and stuff. But with that, I was able to get some cool games. So I got a complete copy of Heroes of Ruin for the 3DS. And then the other two games I got were DS games, so I'll get to those in a bit. But the other 3DS game I purchased off of eBay, and there was a promotion going on. I think it's over now on eBay, but there was a promotional code you could type in like when you're going through checkout, and it was like CDN Games. You type it in, you get $5 off a game over $20. So I used that to get Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers for the 3DS, and this is a sealed copy, and it's in a big box here with a soundtrack. And it was $28, but came to $23 because I had the $5 off, which was cool. I'll show you guys the DS games next because there's some pretty rare GameCube and Wii games here. So these first three came from pawn shops. So the first one is Hotel Dusk, Room 215. This was This was $2, I believe. Next up is Hidden Mysteries Vampire Secrets. That one was also $2. And then next up is Kingdom Hearts Recoded. And I actually bought 2 copies of this. The first one was from the flea market, and when I opened it, it had Kingdom Hearts, but it also had a copy of Fire Red in it, and that one was only $10, so that was a great deal. And then I got one later for $5 from the pawn shop, and this is the one from the pawn shop. The other one had a bunch of sticker residue on the front. And these next 2 come from Brian from the collection we bought. The first one is N+, which is, I don't think it's that expensive, but it's a pretty uncommon game. Same with this one. This one's a little more rare, and this one's Korg DS10 synthesizer made by Xseed. And all these games are complete, which is awesome. And then the last 3 here were also purchased from the game store with the trade credit. And keep in mind, the stuff we traded in was stuff that we didn't even think we could sell on eBay. That's like how bottom of the barrel it kind of was to us. And along with the PS2 games I traded in, which they gave me way more than I was expecting, we were able to get some really cool stuff. And I'm very glad that we decided to do that rather than, try and split up these weird import games that they weren't like anything special either. They were like $5, $10 games. But since we were able to get these games for our collection, it was worked out very well. It was very cool. So these 3 here are all factory sealed DS games here. And the first one is Heroes of Mana. And then Master of the Monster Lair. Then the last one is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2. So, very cool, and I ended up paying $6, which was the difference. Heroes of Ruin was 16 or 17, I believe. And then Heroes of Mana and Master of the Monster Lair were both like $19.99. And then Devil Survivor was like $22 or $24. So I ended up paying $6 cash, or $6 out of pocket for those. The rest was trade credit, so that was very cool. Next up, I'm going to show you the Wii games because some of the GameCube games are pretty special. So first up, from a pawn shop, I picked up Monster Hunter 3 Try. And this is a game that I've been on the lookout for, but I've just never found a copy. So when I found it at the pawn shop, it ended up being $4, I believe, and it's complete. So I was glad to add that one to my collection. And then these next 3 come from GameStop, and 2 of these are pretty rare. One of them's just kind of uncommon, but it was a great deal for what it was. That is Nancy Drew, the White Wolf of Icicle Creek, and this is at GameStop for $8.99. But if you look on eBay, they're going for like $17, $18. So I just picked that up just because it was a newly traded in game too. I'd never seen it there before, so I figured, might as well get it if it's like half off of eBay. Then the next one here is kind of weird. I could not find, I don't know what this is worth, money-wise, because I could not find one for sale anywhere. And the problem with GameStop about this game, it's not really a problem, but they don't differentiate it from the regular copy of the game. This is a limited edition version, and I couldn't find it for sale anywhere. There's none on Amazon, none on eBay, none on half, so I have no idea what it's worth, but this is Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja 3 Revolution Limited Edition. And this is the limited edition part here, and it comes with a DVD. So the regular copy of the game, not that expensive, $10, $12 game. This is $13.50 at GameStop, but like I said, you can't find it anywhere. So I figured I'd pick it up. It's got to be worth more than what I paid. So that was pretty cool to find that. This next one, though, I'm extremely happy to have, and there's probably plenty of people that would argue this is the rarest, if not just one of the rarest Wii games out there. And I had to call a different GameStop to have this shipped to mine. And I've searched for it before, and when I searched before, I found one copy, called the GameStop, they said they didn't have it, and they've had tons of calls about it. And I went through and started calling some GameStops again to get some more games, and I searched for this one again, found 2 copies. This one was complete, the other one was missing the manual, but I was trying to have them both shipped, because it's so much cheaper than getting it on eBay. But they actually sold the other one before they got before my GameStop got a chance to call them and confirm it had it shipped, which sucked. But I was glad that I got the complete one for my collection, and that is My Horse and Me Riding for Gold. And as you can see, it was $16.19, and if you look this one up on eBay, it's like 65 bucks, the cheapest for a complete copy. So I was very glad to get this one out of the way. Moving on to the GameCube games, only 2 of these are cheaper titles, but even those ones are still pretty good. They're all complete. The first one is Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble. Cheapest one out of the bunch. I'm, saving the best for last, like always. Next is PN03, or Project Number 03. And this one is, it's not really expensive or anything, but I think it was like 20 bucks or so, or 15. And then I have 4 more games here, and when I show you this next one, saying that this is the, I don't know how to word it, but the first 2 I showed you were the cheaper titles, and I'm just trying to build them up to the best one at the last one. So showing you this one here as the 3rd game should kind of give you an idea that the ones after it are going to be something really special. So the next one is Time Splitters Future Perfect. And this is one of those expensive games I just didn't have yet, and I was very glad that he actually had this in his collection. So it ended up being super cheap for me, if not free, just however you think about it. But this one's like, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like 40 or 45. So I was very glad to get that one. And then just continuing with the coolness from there, this next one is a factory sealed bonus disc for Pokemon Colosseum. And I already have one of these complete, but I didn't have a sealed one. And if you look up sealed copies, they're like between 50 and 80. So that was pretty cool. And this one might be cheaper than that one, I'm not sure, but I think it's cooler personally. But it is a factory sealed copy of Bat and Kalos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean, but this is the Toys R Us exclusive that comes with the soundtrack sealed to the back there. The only problem with this is that there's a huge rip on the front. If you can see right here, there's a big like triangle rip out of it. But still, it's still technically sealed, even with that gigantic rip. But I'm not going to open it anyway, and I'm not going to like get it graded or whatever, so I thought that was very cool. Bat and Kalos is one of my favorite GameCube games, so it was awesome to see that. And the last one here is actually an eBay purchase, and I found this as a newly listed buy it now, and it was like $56 or $58 after shipping, and that is a complete copy of Phantasy Star Online Episodes 1 and 2 Plus. And this is like, this game usually sells for like $20 more than that, so I was very happy to see that and purchase it, and it's complete. And this is just one of those games that is like, a top tier GameCube game that I didn't have yet, so I was very glad to find that one for a decent price. The systems here are pretty cool. This first one, I've had the box for a while, and I showed it in a video, but at the flea market, when I mentioned I bought a couple SPs, this was one of them that I bought, and it was one that I needed to put in the box. The system is really beat up. It's extremely scratched, but it'll work until I find another one. I'm not going to actively seek out this particular color to replace this, but I get SPs all the time, so it's just a matter of time before I find one to replace this. But it is the, what color is this? Pearl Blue. And this is a Model 101, so it's one of the ones that has like the better backlighting screen and everything. But it's complete now, so glad to add that. And then I have 3 GameCubes here to show, and, well, 3 GameCube boxes. Only 2 of them have the systems in them so far. I need to find a third one. But these also came from Brian from the collection, and these are very awesome. They're all variants. They're not just like a standard color. They're like a special bundle, and 2 of them are store exclusive. So the first one here, and honestly, both of these, actually I'll show this one first because it's probably more common. This is the Mario Party 7 bonus set, which includes the game and an extra controller as well as the microphone. and it's a little bigger, a little wider than a regular GameCube box. This is the one that I haven't put the system in yet because I know that I'm going to need, you know, the system, the controller, the extra controller, the game, and the microphone. So I figured I'd wait to complete this one since I need all that stuff for it. But the other two are probably pretty rare. I've never heard of either of them, and because they're store exclusives, they're probably pretty hard to find now. And I would probably say this one is a little more common, so I'll show that one first. And that is a Walmart exclusive that comes with a 251 block memory card. And it's for the Platinum GameCube here. And there's a sticker on there. So, you know, pretty cool. The only thing that kind of sucks about these is that there's no cardboard inserts for any of them, and there's only manuals for one of them. So, kind of sucks. There was one more included, besides the ones I got that I gave to Sam, and that was one of them that came with the Zelda Collector's Edition game. The reason I let him take that one is because he had originally had dibs on something else in the collection that turned out to be much cooler than I thought it was, and I ended up just trading him for it because that's just how it worked out. But this other one here, I'm thinking is probably the rarest one out of all of them because it's like such a weird bundle, and I can't think that anyone would purchase this one because of the bonus, because it's not that great of a bonus, and it's something that not many people would probably be interested in anyway. But that is a Kmart exclusive that, once again, is Platinum, but it comes with a mini Nintendo Power magazine, and that's the bonus. So, pretty weird. And then it goes down the side there as well. And this one does have all the paperwork, and it does have that miniature Nintendo Power magazine, which is literally like 3 pages, and it's about the size of like a DVD case. So very, very weird, but I'm glad to have it in my collection because I keep all the kind of stuff like this, you know, variants and all that, so it's very cool, and I'm glad to have those. So I'm going to cut right here, and I'm going to show you guys the rest of the promotional stuff. So this here, as you can see, is a Brutal Legend standee, and it's still brand new, never been put together, and it even includes the original shipping box, which I was going to show you, but I'm going to keep it hidden because it has Brian's name and address on it. But it comes with the original shipping box, and it wasn't sealed or anything, so don't think that I opened it, but this is the first thing that was included. Next up is this Pikmin 2 poster, and I already have one of these, and this one is going to Sam, but he forgot to take it when he left, so just thought I'd show you guys this one. Next up is a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles poster, and this is the same kind of style as the Pikmin one, same size and everything. And then at the bottom there, it's got the GameCube logo, just like the rest of them do. I have a few more to show you guys. Next up is the WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games poster. And what's cool about this one is that the center part here is actually like foil and like really shiny. So that one's pretty cool. Next up is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. And this one's pretty cool. And I just want to apologize for not being able to get the entire poster in frame here, but very cool. And the last one, which is probably the coolest in my opinion, aside from Pikmin, is Custom Robo. And the game is a little pricey itself, kind of like a, you know, like a mid-level game, I guess. But very cool, and I've never seen any promotional or display items for it, so I thought that one was pretty cool. Next up is this floor sticker, and this is what you'd see like in front of the counter at GameStop or in front of the kiosk or something. And this is for Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, which is very cool. And all these floor stickers are still brand new with the original backing on them, which is very cool. So they're all unused, and obviously I'm not going to peel them off and stick them in my carpet, but still very cool, and they'd be cool to like frame or something and put on the wall. Next up is this Donkey Konga 2 floor sticker. Very cool. And then the last floor sticker here that I have is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Once again, very cool. This one has sort of like an air bubble on it right here. But other than that, very cool. And now let's move on to some display boxes. First up for the display boxes, and these are all All except for one are brand new and unused because I haven't put them together yet, aside from the one that I plan on displaying. But this one's Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Next up, we have a display box for Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Next up is a very big display box for Star Fox Assault, which is awesome, and it has some kind of like foil stuff on the lasers and the title, which are kind of like shiny or holographic, whatever you want to say. But this one I actually did fold together, but I don't have a place to display it yet. But like I said, I am rearranging, so I'm going to try and find a place for this one. Next up is another big display box for Donkey Konga 2. And for these big display boxes, the cardboard is really thick. Like, these things are extremely durable, unlike the ones that GameStops get now, which are pretty flimsy. These ones are really thick. I don't know what to really compare it to. Like, it's thicker. It's probably thicker than the cardboard used on the system boxes, even, if that gives you an idea. Next up is Chibi Robo, and I think this one's really cool because you don't really see a lot of promotional items for this game, and having it be like a semi-rare game just makes the promo stuff for it that much cooler. And next up is Mario Party 7, which obviously is very awesome, and there's not much to say about it. Last for the boxes is this cube, which has obviously Mario Party 7 and Fire Emblem on that side. And like I said, it's a cube, so it's got 4 sides, and flipping it over, we see Mario Strikers and Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, which is very awesome. So now let's move on to a few other promo items that were included. So when I mentioned standees, I should have said countertop standees, because these are all smaller ones. But the first one here is for 1080 Avalanche, and it's laying on the floor, so it's not like the best angle, but see if I can pick it up here, give you guys some close-up shots. It's got all this like foil paper on it to make it look all snowy, and then you've got the guy on there, and then the title and everything is foil at the top. On the back, it's got 1080 across the top, and this big box here, and it's kind of dusty, as you can see. But at the bottom of the box, we have a battery slot, and when you put batteries in it, this guy actually rotates back and forth on the standee, which is awesome. And 1080 for the N64 at least is a great game. I haven't played it on the Gamecube, but I've heard it's very awesome, so I'm glad to have this standee here. And the last countertop standee and the last item for this extremely long video is this Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix countertop standee. And I don't know if you can see that little red light blinking on it right above the X, but let me see if I can get a closer shot on that. So it's got a bunch of lights across the top there. Unfortunately, only that one is still working, and I can replace the batteries if I ever want to, but I don't think that I would ever keep it on, because once you put the batteries in, they automatically turn on. There's no on or off switch on it. They all had pull tabs, but he told me that when he got it, they were all blinking, and so he didn't know if like the batteries had worn through the tabs or whatever. So I just decided to pull all the tabs out anyway, and then that one started blinking, so the other batteries are all dead. But this one is very cool, and the only unfortunate thing about it, it's not even a bad thing because I can easily fix it, but the Mario here, the glue has come off of the back. The rest of the glue's down there, but it came off, but it should be easy enough to glue back down. And this is an awesome standee. It's all like 3D and everything. Let me see if I can get a closer shot of the base here. Everything is like popping out. Got that little disco ball in there, and the sides, and then the back is pretty ugly, but that's where all the batteries are, under there. And they're those little cell batteries that you could use in like a laser pointer or something. But yeah, that's the last one, and it's very awesome. I'm super glad to have it, as well as, you know, all the rest of the stuff that I showed you guys. Buying his collection was probably a better experience than buying any of the other collections I have, just because of how much promotional stuff there were, or how much promotional stuff there was, excuse me. But it was very awesome, and I actually forgot to mention, this Mario Mix standee also came with the original box for it, which you can't really beat that. But yeah, that's it for this video. I apologize for those of you who don't like long videos. I apologize for how long it is. And for those of you that do like my long videos, here you go. And be on the lookout for another pickup video soon, and hopefully a room tour within the next month. I don't know exactly when I'll have time to do it. Like I said, I'm still rearranging and cleaning everything up, but hopefully I can get to starting that up soon. And that's it for now. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.